there's certain people that are very, very clear-eyed. These people are not addicted to dopamine spikes that they get from junk food, from tabloids, from gossip, from crap talking, and all this nonsense. They are what you might call connected to God. If you don't believe in God, don't get hung up on it. Maybe just call it connected to being in the zone. We'll call it in the zone for the atheists, okay? So some people are connected to God or in the zone, and some people are in this weird dopamine matrix. The dopamine matrix is designed to oppress you. In other words, the way that it is designed is that the mass population is largely in a trance. What does a trance mean? It means that you are not connected to your proactive will. You're basically being used as a puppet. You lack discernment to even understand what you're seeing, and you are not independently accessing a transcendent state. And because you are not able to access a transcendent state, you are a slave to the need for external dopamine. So and as a result, there's no proactivity. And so let's look at the loop, okay? You're disconnected from God, which means now you're a slave to your dopamine. Because you're a slave to your dopamine, you're an addict to the dopamine. As a result of that, your perceptual bandwidth will only allow you to perceive what is within your current energetic reality. In other words, what will get you this crap, dopamine and cortisol, and all this garbage that you're addicted to, okay? An addict can only see that which feeds their paradigm. They can't see anything outside of their paradigm, okay? And then from there, now your life sucks, which then further sucks you into that trap, and it's this scarcity trap and this death trap. And because of that, you don't believe that you can access a transcendent state, okay? So the base level understanding that you want to get is, how do I get a center point where I'm not an addict, and then I can act from a foundation of proactivity? So I'm having a little party out here in LA. We're having a lot of fun. Guess where I'm coming this week? Do you guys know where I'm coming?
Yes,
San Francisco. It's going to be lit.
San Francisco with him.
Okay.
Always.
Should they come?
Yeah.
You think they should come?
100%.
I think you gotta come.
Literally.
Okay? And you know how you come? You just click the link. Just click the link and come and meet up. Okay? Come and meet up. Come and have fun. Stop being boring. Start enjoying your life. You wanna make money? You wanna learn social skills?
And do you wanna hang out with me?
We're gonna be talking about everything at the free event. So click the link below. And I'm gonna help you build a mastermind group. I'm gonna help you to do public speaking. We're gonna do a field trip at the end of the day. I'm gonna build everything out for you, all for free. Fly in, it's 2 full days, okay? San Fran, Orlando, Miami, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Chicago, Seattle, Portland. Just get in the freaking free event. I'll see you there, peace. So simple things to look at are when I broke my leg. I had a comminuted fracture, tib fib, and tibial plateau break. Is anybody here a doctor who knows what that is?
Yes.
Okay, how bad is what I just described?
Really bad.
Okay,
Very bad.
yeah, okay. So look at me in the ambulance, and I look exactly like this. Okay, they're all freaked. They're like, what is this guy? Is he high? Is he on adrenaline? What's happening to him? They're scared that I just look normal. Why do I just look normal? I'm not trying to be a tough guy, guys. I'm not a perfect tough guy. I had my ups and downs with that process. But a lot of time I look very happy. What is it that allowed me to look happy?
Holy Spirit. Use it as a meditative thing.
I just said, well, it hurts, but I can stay present through the pain. Ironically, the pain actually propels you into greater presence. Look, we all have our limit, okay? Like, you poke a knife in my eyeball, I probably scream like a little bitch, okay? Everybody has their limit. But what'll happen is you're able to stay in locked in work mode for long periods of time. So in other words, if you're like, okay, I got to make a couple $1 million. Easy. Wake up, work nonstop for 2 years, make the money, and then you go do what you want. Why can't most people do that? They can't focus on anything. They're like, oh, got to get to task. Look at this. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I feel demoralized now. I don't feel confident. I don't feel like I was encouraged by my friends. If my mom would have encouraged me more as a child, I'd feel more like, what are you even talking about? Just shut the fuck up and do it. Like, what world do you live in? What planet are you on? How much prosperity do we live in that you have time for this shit? You think your ancestors 2,000 years ago talked about this shit? Nobody did. Okay, so from that standpoint, you access that by being present to the moment. From there, what's going to happen is you have higher degrees of awareness. Now, from there, you have two choices. You can either build a product that further oppresses the dumbed down masses and make a gazillion dollars, or you can build a product that wakes up the masses and probably make tens of millions of dollars. So that's usually the way that it goes, because people that are very awake, there's less of them, so they're the ones that would resonate with something that would help wake them up, versus if you make something ridiculous and insane and stupid that oppresses people, they'll tend to buy it in droves. Doesn't have to be like that, but that is just commonly how it is, okay? That's just commonly how it is. It's not always like that. There's exceptions. So as you walk down the street, what you're going to see is people that have this very cloudy look. It's a very, very cloudy look. And it is a look of too much noise in their mind, too much thinking. Now, when I say don't think, I don't mean don't think like you smoke weed. I mean don't think as in you're in a transcendent state and you have 100% of your knowledge at your fingertips, so you're not having to think all the time. That's the difference, okay? From that standpoint, so for example, when you're seeing me up here, okay, I'm up here doing public speaking, am I thinking? No. Why am I not thinking?
You're in a flow state.
Because I have access to the information. I'm not blocking myself from the information that I'm trying to relate to you, correct?
Yeah.
So when I'm saying don't think, what I mean is you are what Eckhart Tolle would call above thought, not below thought. Okay? So marijuana simulates enlightenment, but it puts you below consciousness, like a dog, as opposed to above conscious. It's a false god. Oh, I'm connected to God, I'm high. No, you just shut off parts of your brain via drugs. What a lot of people would tell you about weed is that we have an energetic shield, and incarnate demonic entities will make you feel good whenever you do something to poke holes like Swiss cheese in the energetic shield. So have you ever heard of people that are sick in the head that are cutters? They just start cutting, and it makes them feel really, really good to cut. Or maybe people into S&M, they're hurting themselves so it feels good. You ever notice that if you take, say that you eat really unhealthy food, but it might feel really good? That's because in my experience, that is because the demonic entities are saying, make him think this feels good to cut holes in his system so that we can get him later. It's as if say that you're England during the Viking time, right? And you have these big castle walls. And then what the Vikings do is they go, wait a minute. If we back away, they'll open the drawbridge. Okay, they'll open the drawbridge. So the demons go, back, retreat into the forest and make you feel good when you do things to open the drawbridge. That drawbridge is giving access to your core being by blowing holes in your protection shield. How do you blow holes in your protection shield? Shit talking, thinking too much, ego, negativity. Drugs is by far the biggest. Biggest is drugs, alcohol, blows holes in it. So you get a high off of it because what's happening is in my view, you're being oppressed by demons, okay? There's demons always on you, and they're getting in, and they're oppressing your consciousness. So what happens is, it's like you're underwater. There's always a pressure that's there. There's always a pressure. And then what happens, the demons go, wait a minute, he's about to do something to hurt himself. So they retract, and you go, God, this feels so good. It's like when you fuck a girl without a condom, right? And you're like, God, it just feels so good, because you know that you're about to have a disease, unplanned pregnancy, like, you know, it's gonna be a fucking mess, it's gonna be chaos, so it feels extra fucking good, okay? So, right, it's amazing how good it feels when you know you shouldn't, right? That gambling has that effect, because you're hurting yourself, so it feels good, okay? So the oppressors depart when you're doing something to hurt yourself. But if you continually sell out your soul again and again and again and again to the sick system, it's blowing holes in your system, and then you're deeply unconscious, and all that you can resonate with is weed or Cheetos or processed foods or shit like that. Then what happens, and now you're distracted, you can't concentrate, you can't focus. As a result of that, you're broke. As a result of being broke, you have a shitty job. Now you have to commute, hate your job, being bossed around, life sucks, can't get a date, can't get anything. So then what do you do for pleasure? You reach out to more garbage, you reach out to more crap. It's a cycle. In other words, the kingdom of heaven or the hellish reality of the pit of fire begins today, okay? And so what happens is you have to make a choice if you're gonna buy into that or not, and what's gonna happen if you buy into it or what happens if you don't. That is your choice, to buy in or to not buy in. You see what I'm saying? To buy it or not, that is your choice. okay? So so the problem is we don't really have church anymore, right? Because it's not trendy. So what happens is you're not getting these kind of ideas, and it doesn't have to be about demons. Translate what I'm saying. You don't think there's a fucking demon? Translate what I'm saying. Just translate it. You're so fucking smart and objective, just translate what I'm saying into your own terminology, and you'll get the same outcome. So it doesn't matter. Don't get stuck on the belief system, okay? So even if I was totally wrong that there's a fucking demon on you, then just view it as addiction to dopamine, whatever you want to view it as, okay? So what you're aiming for is clear-mindedness. Now what happens is, once you get back into a clear mind, then what happens is now you have clarity, which expands your awareness, okay? So you remember earlier I was making a lot of I was joking around a lot about fake confidence? What I'm showing you now is a little bit more of what real confidence would look like, but I just think this is too subtle if you're just getting started. But what will happen is real confidence will come because you got to understand, real confidence is not even confidence. Real confidence is just transcendence. Real confidence is not, I'm the man. Real confidence is called, you don't even think at all. That's actual real confidence. You don't even think at all. The problem is that if you're in a lower paradigm, I've got to pump you up saying that you're the man, you're the woman, whatever, because you're not able to access transcendent state yet. So real confidence is actually just a transcendent state where you're just being. You're not even doing, you're just being. But these are upper layers that confuse the newbie and then cause them just to sit on their fucking ass reading spiritual books rather than making their first million. So that's why I say, for a newbie, as great as it would be to have a transcendent state, probably just telling yourself you're the man's a better idea and just massive action's a better idea. You'll get to this later, okay? So now, because as you start knocking down goals, you'll gain confidence with each goal. And with each goal, you're getting more and more confidence and more real self-esteem. It's awesome, okay? So then, basically what will happen is you get into a transcendent state. Now, what's going to happen when you do this? It's a number of different processes. It could be things like meditation, which then unaddicts you off the system because you deprive yourself of stimulation for 20, 30 minutes. It could be things like trauma release so that you don't have addiction to that negativity and that weird succubus stuck inside of you of trauma. You release that. It could be things like working on beliefs. It could be things like making yourself laugh. It could be things like training gratitude. So I'm going to get you to repeat some of these practices after me as stepping stones to where I want you to eventually get. Gratitude. Gratitude. Meditation. Meditation. Trauma release. Trauma release. Laughter. Laughter. Healthy food. Healthy food. Okay, you guys see where this is going? Yeah. Okay, you get the gist, right? Sauna. Sauna. Cold plunge. Cold plunge. Eastern herbs. Eastern herbs. Okay, things like that, okay? Nutrient-dense food. Nutrient-dense food. Great, okay? So those basic things that everyone's beginning to realize and wake up to that I was fortunate to stumble into in the early 2000s. Or probably by 2007, 2008, I was beginning to realize that. So I got a head start. So what'll happen is if you just go with that for a decade or two, what's gonna happen? You're locked in, you're super aware, very high energy, very competent, very capable. Then what's gonna happen once you have this down is you're gonna say to yourself, wait a minute, I can get out of my own head for a minute. Once you're able to get out of your own head for a minute, what's gonna wind up happening is now you're able to do things like marketing. You're also able to have social skills. So the reason why most people can't build products, can't market, can't build social skills is because they are self-obsessed. They're obsessed with themselves. So in other words, if I ask one of you guys in here to ask me a question, usually what will happen is I'll say, hey, ask me a question. And let me imitate what it's gonna look like, okay? Could I borrow your chair? Here, let me imitate what it's gonna look like. You're gonna sit here, okay? I'm gonna pull out a bit to make the thing. Okay, so what you could do is you could stand up so that the group could benefit from your question, and you could project your voice so that everybody in the group could hear you. You would look at me about 30% of the time, but you'd engage the group the other 70% of the time. So if I was a student and you're the teacher, and you said, hey, ask your question. Say that to me, hey, ask your question.
Hey, ask your question.
Thanks, Owen. Okay, so guys, the question that I have for Owen is I want to learn how to reach a transcendent state. So Owen, I really appreciate what you're doing up here. How can I reach a transcendent state?
Meth.
And then I sit down, okay? Yeah, I'd say take meth. So, okay, so you see what I did there?
Yeah.
So first of all, what does that do? that signals to the women in the room that while I respect him as a role, that I'm on his level, if not higher. That is signaling to the men in the room that I'm respecting his role, but that I'm on that level, if not higher. You see that? Okay? It's also showing him that I'm to be respected, but it's also me respecting you, because I'm not going to let you get bored. Why am I able to do that? Because what I'm saying to myself, have a seat. Thank you. What I'm saying to myself is, when someone is in scarcity, okay, when their consciousness is suppressed, all that they can think of is like, Owen's here, the guy from the YouTube is here. Ask the guy from the YouTube your question. Maybe then everything will be okay, right? And I got some attention. I got on a video. I got a photo, or things like that, right? It's like, please, sir, may I have some more, please, right? It's the way guys approach women too. So, in other words, but if someone is in a point where they have a need, I need, they don't have the mental bandwidth to be able to think that three-dimensionally. They're just like, I need it, right? Look, it's similar to this, okay? Let me give it a simple breakdown. I've given this breakdown before. So I run free events, okay? Now, anybody who has ever built something understands, like, when you guys come here, are you guys ever doing the math of what this costs me to just do this event and go, how the fuck does he do it? Yeah. Many of you in this room think that there's some selfish scheme that I do the free events because you yourself wouldn't do something for free. So you project that I have a selfish scheme. And because of that, you never think about the math on the free event. The free event ultimately is a math problem, okay? I had to figure out how can I afford to put on free events and keep the lights on in the building metaphorically. Like, how do I keep my staff paid, keep my children fed, and then all you guys get a free event, right? So you guys would have seen this event. How many hours will this run? It's basically going to run Friday from 7 until 4 in the morning. So that's about 9 hours. Today, it's going to run about 12. And tomorrow, it's going to run about 12. Right? So you're looking at 24 plus around, maybe it's about 33 hours, right? Out of a 33-hour event. Anybody asks me about sales when I'm outside, I'll stay out there and talk to you about sales if you want, while I have other instructors running shit. But how many out of 33 hours, how much time do I spend talking about our products in this room?
20 minutes.
But was it even 20 minutes?
10 minutes.
Think about this.
5.
Was it 3? Was it 5 out of 33 hours? It's around that. How did I do that? How did I do it?
Magic.
What I do is simple. I'll just say, look, if you come here, I'll just say, look, if anyone wants to do a program, I'll cut you a deal, chat me outside, and then I get just enough money that I can pay for the room. Okay? Somebody who lives in a derp state will never be able to respect that process. They'll never be able to respect that process. So every time that I do that, and I'm out there, and I got a handful of guys that will maybe jump on a couple of programs to cover the cost of the room so that I can do another 10 years of free events for everyone. So tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people can benefit. So that 100,000 people, like, what is it like just getting to come to a completely free seminar like this for free? What is that like?
Amazing.
Isn't that cool that we can do that?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a beautiful thing that you guys can come here and do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we created that for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's literally my life's energy into that, right? But if I'm out there and I'm just grabbing a couple orders just to cover the cost of the room, and some guy comes up and goes, hey man, can I grab a photo? And I don't grab those orders. If every single time that I'm grabbing a couple orders, I go, oh, okay, the photo time. What happens to the free event?
Gone. You lose no more. Yeah. People stop benefiting.
You're fucked. So human beings are either like a ray of sun, energetically, or like a piece of fucking cancer. Like a piece of fucking cancer. What does the cancer mean? The cancer means that person, it's like someone who's drowning, and like you're actually swimming to shore, and rather than swimming with you, they're grabbing at your fucking leg, save me, save me. And it's like, and you're even swimming, like bringing a whole fucking family along swimming, and they're like, I'm drowning. But when someone's essence is of cancer, it's not even to get something they need. It's not even something that would help them. They just want a fucking photo. You understand? But you know why they're in that fucking photo need matrix? Because they've never, like a normal person would come to a free event like this, and the first thing they do is they'd go, this is ridiculous. Like, what? This can't exist. This is not a thing. How does this exist? Then you'd say, I wonder what he paid his staff to fly out here. I wonder what he paid for his staff to put them up. I wonder what, okay, the price of the camera's there. What are some additional costs attributed to those cameras that you can think about?
The lights, the lenses, the tripod.
Yeah, but let's go even deeper than that. How long does that camera last?
2 years.
You have to, do you guys have the same iPhone from 3 years ago?
I do.
Some of you do, okay. Yeah, but you see my point, right? So the camera has a certain amount of uses. The lenses tend to last longer, but the computers have a bit of uses. You've got to get it edited, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's costs attributed to this stuff. So if I walk into a seminar room, because I have healed quite a bit of my trauma, and I'm a bit more present and a bit more aware, what I'm saying to myself is, how do I add value into this room? If I was in this room, I'm not even trying to tell you guys to do this. If I was in this room, I would have already went and said to the speaker, hey man, you're fucking killing it up there. Can I go grab you a steak dinner? I'll bring you a steak. What do you want, brother? Hey, bro, there's a couple female friends I have. I'm gonna bring them here, I'm gonna introduce you. I'd be doing that. I'd be befriending the guys at the back of the room. I would have already become the leader of the damn Telegram group that we just created here in New York. I would have become the leader of that, and I would have said, how can I add value to you guys? I would have learned via the process of being a leader in that group how to be a leader and been practicing to do that. I would have also not just been studying I would have been here to get the information, but I'd also be watching the speaker and observed how they're public speaking. So I'd have been learning from the public speaking, I would have been learning from the content, and I would be learning from how they do sales. I would be wanting to learn about the business model and how the business model functions. I would also be, for sure, looking to befriend the guys that are in here, okay? Now, it's mostly guys here, not a lot of girls. So I would not go approach the girls because I don't want to pester the girls where there's more guys than girls. But what I would do is I would use a bit of swagger and charisma to get them to approach me, which is not hard to do. Because you just understand social dynamics. Okay? That basic thing. If a guy here is taking a question and he stands up and he says, oh, hey, Owen, thanks, raises his voice, maybe even cracks a quick joke, not a joke where he's obsessively trying to get attention, making it about him, but he sort of adds a bit of good energy to the room. You don't think the women are looking at him? You don't think the women are curious? Oh, there's the one I want. That's the non-cancer one. That's the sunshine one. Okay, so I'd be seeing that. I would be asking things like, okay, what are his expensive offerings? How does he make a profit from those expensive offerings? What are his less expensive offerings? How does he make profit from that? How does this guy sit in front of a crowd till his voice is beat into the dirt after 12 fucking hours and keep going? What supplements does he take? How does he use his physiology? How does he sleep? What are his beliefs? What's this guy eat? What's this guy do? What's this guy think? And I'd be studying all that. I would also be, if it was me, I would also have always something planned that I could invite people to. So when I live in LA, right? I hike Runyon Canyon a lot. You think I'm not meeting celebrities on Runyon Canyon when I'm out hiking? Of course I'm seeing celebrities out when I'm out hiking. Now, am I gonna go up to celebrity and be like, hey man, wanna come for coffee? Yeah, bro, me and you on a mandate. No, I have friends, networks, events, and offers that I can invite them to on the spot, okay? Who here in this room, we got 100 people in here, who here in this room has something, and I'm not just saying, I know you guys think I'm saying this selfishly, I'm not, I don't even have time. Who here in this room has something badass that you could invite me to, like, this week? What would it be?
Swimsuit fashion show on Saturday. This coming Saturday.
That's a great way to become my friend, okay? Right? What would you invite me to?
A rave tonight.
I can go to my own rave. Yeah, what else?
I have a bunch of model friends and a bunch of promoters that I know.
Are you cool with that? Are you cool with that, Owen? Mr. Cook? Are you okay?
And we have a table, free bottles. I know you. Free bottles of mushroom tea. How about that?
All right, okay. Okay, do you guys see what I'm saying here? I'm clouded, right? But you guys see what I'm saying? Okay, look. So, now look, the truth is, I already have an invite to floor seats at the Brooklyn Nets game on Monday. I've already got access to all the Fashion Week stuff. My friends look up on Instagram, what is Utopia? I've got access, my friends run that stuff. So just look that up on IG, okay? You'll see, your eyes are gonna roll out of your head. So the point being is, I've got access to a lot of stuff. But in a weird way, just because you took the time to have access to that, my brain goes, maybe he's a young hustler. Maybe he's a young hustler. Maybe he's got something going on. Maybe I'll check it out. Not even because I need access to his shit, but just because maybe I'll go check it out. Look, watches, as an example, is not for women. No woman knows what any watch is, other than maybe your most basic cheap Rolex, okay? At most, and they don't even really know, okay? Women like funny, shiny things, colorful things. Who likes watches? Men like watches. When you wear a fancy watch, what happens is you see other guys out with expensive watches, look, these watches aren't even good, they're just collector's items, right? And then what happens is you walk up, you go, oh, cool. Oh, you got that dial. Oh, you got that one? Because they're hard to find, right? You go, oh, you got that one? They go, oh, that's sick. Oh, dude, yours is cool too. Oh, cool. I've always wanted to say, you want to trade for a sec? Because they're hard to find, so you can't really find them that easy. So you wind up going, here, try it on. They'll try on your watch, you try on their watch. Oh, where'd you get it? Oh, who's your watch dealer? Guys wear watches because everywhere you go, other guys wear watches who have money. And then you go, what do you do, bro? Oh, cool. Oh, we're going to Fashion Week. Yeah, bro, you should come. Bring some girls. Do you guys see how that goes? Look, it's the same thing. If you buy a Lamborghini, look, you don't lose money on a watch. Now, I've networked for most of my life without a fucking watch. So I know some of you dipshits in here are going to go, I can't network now because I don't have a watch. Okay? No. But I'm just saying it's something you can do. But what does a watch ultimately signify to other guys? It doesn't signify that you're that cool. What does it signify? What does it really signify? It's the same things that his thing signifies. It's just not that he's a total dipshit. Oh, he happens to have 50 grand that he can lock up in a watch, which, by the way, you can sell it right away and get the money back in most cases, unless the watch market falls off or whatever, right? So it's like all that a watch shows is a grown adult man in his 40s had 50 or 100 grand that he could park for a minute in a watch. Any 50-year-old man or 45-year-old man should have 50 grand, and you can resell it. So it doesn't even say anything that good about you, really. But it's like, okay, at least this is not a total dipshit. That's how low the bar is. That most people are so whacked out and spaced out, they couldn't even park a couple grand into a watch. That's where most people are at. Most people are struggling, they're suffering. You having access to like a table, most people can't do that. You know why? They're too selfish. They're in pain. They can't think three-dimensionally enough to go, wait a minute, I'll befriend this guy. Like, what do I take by the fact you have access to those tables? Or who was it that you have access to that? Are you like the smartest guy in the world because you got access to that? Or did you just say, oh, cool, I'll network a bit and meet a couple people and just like set up a couple things that could be a benefit? That's all that it really means. The reason why women like guys that have a bit of access to things, it's not that they desperately need access. It's that it's like the bar is so low of all these whacked out guys that don't know what planet they're on. They're like, at least he figured out how to get in this club. At least it's something. That's why women love to get invited to high-end parties. Because at least the guys in there like had to figure something out. Because who are they mostly meeting out? The same guys who would be, not to be mean, but who'd be in a seminar room about vocal projection for 2 days, ask a question and go, hey guys, what's up? Like that, right?
I thought this was loud, to be honest.
Well, even worse. That's even scarier, okay? So if you're a woman who's like, I might get pregnant by this guy, I need him to protect me, and he can't even figure out how to get a watch. He can't even figure out how to get in a club. He thinks he's talking loud and he's not. He went to a 2-day seminar about vocal projection and couldn't even project his voice. Like, it's scary. Imagine that you're a woman. That shit is fucking scary. But that's the trance that we're in. We're in a fucking trance. So then from there, so these are like basic mandatory minimums. This stuff's not even good. It just shows that you're not just a complete joke. Having a basic level, half decent Instagram profile, what does that show? It's not that it shows that you're amazing. It just shows that you're not a complete joke, that you're not a liability to people. Let me go a bit deeper. Do you want to know what the average guy's fucking Instagram looks like? It's like a blurry photo of his dinner. You know what I'm saying? Imagine you're a woman. You gotta trust this guy. Thank you so much. You gotta trust this guy to raise your children and provide genetic material for your children, and his Instagram is a blurry photo. Okay? Like, yo, got dinner, y'all. You know, then it's like some weird selfie, like, you know, right? And then like, even worse, the guy actually thought that he'd get girls by getting in shape. So he gets in good shape, but he's like in the mirror, right? So just even more dumb. It's like some moron who just got like, you know, some protein powder from GNC and a 24-hour fitness membership. And he's like, you ready? Or maybe he got like, you know, a half-decent car, but then he's a loser who thought that the car would be enough. But she can tell because the way he poses in front of it, where it's like the watch is wearing him, the car is driving him, the abs are wearing him. It's not like this thing it's not this effortless flow that he has that reflects that he likes it. It's a way to try too hard. It's a way to self-qualify. So it kills all the effort, okay? So what a guy can't do is IG, and then you see rationalizations like, well, look, I just think a guy should be able to say hi to a girl and like not have social media and like, you know, I don't like social media. It's like, bro, you're right. I never said that you can't go meet somebody without an Instagram. But are you that dumb that you couldn't just get it, just take some photos? What does that say about you? So whenever I meet someone and I say, you know, they say, hey, let's trade numbers. Like say it's a guy, I say, cool, trade Instagrams. I immediately go look, because, okay, guys, I'm sitting here with you right now. How many children do I have?
3.
3 kids, right? My kids right now are running around New York. Don't they deserve my attention to be running around New York with them?
Yes.
But then again, some of you guys flew in here, right? Who flew in? Put your hands up if you flew in. Okay. For you guys who flew in, don't you deserve my full attention?
Yes.
Okay. What about women who I'm having sex with? Don't they deserve my full attention?
Yes.
They're opening their body to me. I think they do. Doesn't my staff deserve my full attention?
Yes.
Doesn't my legacy deserve its full attention?
Yes.
How about my dreams? They deserve full attention?
Yes.
Well, then what the fuck am I doing a random fucking coffee date with a man? Yeah, like, sorry, Vincent, Dylan, and Tristan. Daddy does coffee with random men. This guy named Joey, you know, we kind of dapped it up about how we like the Lakers. So Daddy's going for coffee with Joey. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, right? So for somebody like myself, if I'm gonna say that I thought a guy was cool and I want to network with him, what is a way that I could self-justify going for coffee with that guy? I can justify it because I believe that the lives of the people who depend on me will also be enhanced. If I go meet up with this guy, I will have expanded my reality to some extent so that the people in my seminar room and my kids and my staff and my friends and the women in my life will have an added value or a benefit. If you're a woman and you know that I just go do random coffee dates with random men and we just like look at each other and the day burns on and then I just post some more weird lasagna photos on my Instagram, that's one thing. What if I'm building a network of people that are high level that you now have access to? It's a very different thing, right? So it's a very, very different experience, right? So the real truth is, though, most people that are actually active in doing things want to help people. They want to give a chance to the cancer essence person to try to help them to fix it. But what do you learn when you go hang out with these people?
You've got to help them.
You can't help them. If it's hard enough, if I can sit in a room of people and say, learn to project your voice, and after 2 days, some of you guys still won't project your voice, how hard would it be to change that guy's whole life over coffee? It's not going to happen. They're determined to say like that because they are addicted to the satanic entertainment system of dopamine, never arriving, always being disassociated, being trapped in their head, feeding their trauma, being a victim, getting around other people that will victimize them, and just staying in this fucking loop and smoking weed. Okay? They're hooked on it. They don't want to get out. So what happens is that if you can get back some bandwidth and get back some awareness, then what happens is this. Most of us, because we're unconscious, we respond to one of two things, either stimulants or things that put us to sleep. You guys ever remember a video I did way back in the day called The Narrow Road that I shot in Yosemite? Yeah. And I said it's either like, like stimulants or asleep, okay? Most people either want to be unconscious or they want to be simulated. So they either want a dopamine spike from some weird TikTok video or caffeine or whatever, or what they want is to just zonk out. In other words, things like, you know, marijuana or things like that, you know, TV. They just want to be unconscious. I got this, brother. So again, let me show you something, okay? So we have an older fellow here, right? He's struggling with this, okay? And he's going, okay? Somebody like me, I would hear that. I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I'd hear that and I go, hey man, here, pass that to me. Here, pass it to me. You know why I do it? For the benefit of the group. Yeah. Can you do that for him? Yeah. Thank you. Okay? So those little things, okay, of, oh, there's a crinkly here, let me help the group, shows that the person has excessive bandwidth and awareness. And then what that means, by the way, you're going to be way better at social skills. Because what's going to wind up happening, okay? You got this. You got it?
You got it, yeah. He took it back.
Here, I got you, brother.
He broke the thing, but
It's okay, man. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put that away.
Yeah.
Because then what we think to ourselves is, you know, he might get distracted and keep crinkling it. So then we put it away from him, okay? So, okay. Okay, so, by the way, when you have enough awareness, you even know when your staff is going to fuck up. Okay? Like, you're thinking 50 steps ahead. Hey, man, we got to get this done. Probably this is going to happen. Probably, see how the crinkle is still there? I already know. I can already predict. Okay? It's okay, man. Can you put it down for a moment, please?
Yeah.
You gotcha. Okay. So he's an older fellow. He's just here to learn. Okay. So at the highest levels of running your empire, you've got to be able to think 50 steps ahead. They're going to do this. They're going to think this. They're going to act like this. You have to have what's called theory of mind and be able to predict 100 levels ahead. Listen, women these days have no clue what a proper man is. They think a proper man is like some whacked out TikToker. Okay? Because there's so few guys operating at this level, they don't even know what it is. So you'd think with all this, that somehow that would help your dating life? No. Actually, what helps your dating life is state pumping and acting like an idiot. But it is that awareness that you would have from this that would allow you to realize other people's paradigm and then would allow you to meet them where they're at. Then when they start dating you and they have an experience with you, they are never going to forget what it was like to be with you because they are going to have a situation where all their needs were met and they'd feel truly safe for the first time ever and could become feminine. But they don't even know what that is initially, right? So you meet them where they're at. No different than when I teach a training, I can't just say, you are fucked and you're lucky I'm even talking to you. I have to say, okay, on this training, you will, right? And do a bunch of sales copy. Because I've got to meet the client where they're actually at in their ego and their like petty needs and things like that. So I had to do sales copy. Now people say, no, I should not do sales copy. Try it, see what happens. You're like, I don't like all that sales stuff people do. Try what happens when you don't. For every single person that you see using proper sales and marketing that you thought that annoyed you, you think they didn't try not doing that before? You think they didn't try it without it? Right? For every guy who learns a bit of swag, he didn't start with swag. He started with being a good guy. Then he realized later that doesn't do anything and he learned swag. They don't start there. Then guys are like, yeah, but look at a company like Apple that just puts like a little Apple logo. Yeah, that's when you have a $1 billion budget. You can do bad advertising on a $1 billion budget. Look, if you're a Rothschild kid who owns a giant estate and controls the whole planet, you can also have bad social skills and just invite everyone over to your giant Biltmore estate if you're like a Vanderbilt kid. You know what I'm saying, right? But that's not what everybody lives with. So maybe you can get away with bad skills when you have that much resources, but you shouldn't just have bad skills. And the truth is, you let someone like me in an environment like that, and I'm going to have a great time. Okay? So I'll still outcompete them if I can get in there. It happens to me all the time, by the way. Not that, but with people getting tables. Oh yeah, people get tables. These rich guys pay 10 grand for a table. I know the promoter, they sit me there. Within 5 minutes, the guy who bought the table's like, get that guy the fuck out of here. He's terrified, because I'll grab all the attention. So yeah, I actually have to dumb myself down when I go to other guys' tables. I have to be like, hi, 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 hi. Otherwise the guy's like, get this guy out of here. So yeah, it's funny. It's funny how it works. So what I'm trying to show you is basically, if you can get out of your own spiritual, psychological oppression and get awareness, that will free up bandwidth to learn internet marketing, how to do sales copy, how to have social skills, how to build a business. And then from there, now what you can do is you don't have to have the food. Look, the food of the masses is basically drugs, processed foods, and dumb shit, okay? So the bread and circus of the masses, what that stuff is basically where they give you a bunch of garbage that gives you short-term gratification and makes you even more dumb. So if you're flat broke, then you do a bunch of psychedelics because you can't afford to go to Hawaii. You can't afford to go hike the Nepali coast. So for $10, you eat a mushroom, you're on Nepali coast, right? Why do you need to go take a private plane into the gates of the Arctic in Alaska or Denali in Alaska, pay 10 grand, when you could just do LSD? $15, you just went to Alaska. Except now your brain circuitry is getting fucked up. So every time that you say yes to it, it fucks you up and removes the prospect of you doing it. And look, this is like clients that I had back in the day in dating. I'd have some rich guy and he'd be like, oh, I like prostitutes. And I'm like, so basically you're this old creepy guy who's able to hook up with like perfect, like total dime pieces because you're paying. If that guy were to actually have to meet the women that he deserves, it would just literally be the lowest level women possible because he can only pay for it, right? So that guy, to break that habit, it's not like he would go from having like 3 dime pieces that he paid a couple $1,000 for down to like average girls. He would go down to the lowest tier women that he could meet because he's garbage. That's what happens to the unthinking masses. Like, hey, put down your drugs, put down your bread and circus. It's not like they immediately get shuttled over to Nepali coast. It's not like they just wake up in Italy at the Amalfi Coast, right? No, they wake up to brutal, boring sobriety and no fun. And now they're 7 or 8 years of hard hustle away from actually having a fun life. They're fucked. They're fucked. They're fucked. They've been put into a trap that they're not going to get out of. They're fucked. They are now in modern day slavery system. Okay? They're fucked. So basically what it is that you're fucked, and so you've got to unfuck yourself, and then what you've got to do is don't teach that to your kids so you can break the cycle, okay? So let's look at the basic pattern here. I'll try to lay out okay, by the way too, here's another thing you got to understand, okay? The whole system of having a free country depends on the citizenry getting to some kind of level of what I'm talking about in this seminar. I may not have a perfect vision of it, although I did study it for 22 years, but I probably still have a perfect vision, and my vision will become refined, and there'll be areas that I change. But something like this is needed, because if we're not operating like this to some level, how can we have freedom? When you're whacked out, you give justification to the people that are oppressing you to keep oppressing you. You're proving them right, okay? You're proving them right. So that is giving them the justification. Now, I need you to use your imagination here. I'm not going to name names. Who was the top dating coach in the entire world for like a decade?
You.
So when the richest people in the world needed help, who do they often call?
You.
How rich do you think some of those people were? What do you think are some of the things that I saw?
Terrible things. Dysfunction.
Why am I so angry?
Because they know better.
Because I know who's oppressing you. And it scares me. And I don't resonate with them. I resonate with you. But y'all making me into a sucker. So the difference in their beliefs, their belief is something like this. These people have a slave mindset. They like to be oppressed. The more we oppress them, the more they like it. So let's just keep oppressing them because they need it, because without it, they're vulgar. Go watch the movie Century of the South by Adam Curtis. Watch when they came out with those theories that human beings are basically just like these out-of-control animals that need to be controlled. And they control us with things like consumer culture and many other things. Go look this stuff up. Look up Edward Bernays. Look up all this stuff. Go look and understand propaganda. Look, you guys already saw videos of Kamala Harris, and I'm not bringing this in to be political, but did you see Kamala Harris in the debate with Trump? Yeah. Did you watch as she expressed policy after policy after policy? But this is not the day before the internet now, so now they can clip it. And there's all these clips coming out where she says one thing and says the polar opposite a week earlier.
Nope. Yeah. Nope.
Why does she do that? Why does she just dance between policy positions and know she'll never get called out on it?
Because people just are into an image. Oh, she's the first black woman, this and that, and that's why they're into the image. And
Okay.
I feel the emotion she gives them.
I didn't say it.
I say it.
Stand up. Just stand up.
I'm saying it. Want me to say it again?
He said it. That's all. I just want to clarify that he was the one who said it. Okay. Have a seat. Okay. You can see why I'm saying that. Okay. So, give me a moment. So the thing is this, right? She knows that she can just say one thing to her leftist audience and say a completely other thing to her centrist audience. She knows that she can do that because she knows that the attention span's too short, so she knows it doesn't matter.
Well, she doesn't.
Well, because they also use
Her people know it. Yeah.
They use distracts you about her image, and they tell people what to think about her. And
Yeah.
they follow blindly.
Yeah, they know they can say anything to you. And that your attention span is that short. They know, 2 weeks to stop the spread, then just babysit you, right? It's almost like being like, yo, after party. Hey, after party, right? It's like, it's just baby stepping you along. It's ridiculous. They know that they can do it. They know that they can do it. Okay? They know. So, people are just too whacked out to even understand what's happening. So, unless you have a citizenry that's woken up to whatever degree, like we need a human awakening project. Without that, see, my belief is that while the elites are correct in their assessment of how whacked up the population is, they did it. They did it. You can't just if a dude will beat the shit out of his friend and break his leg and go, look, you need the crutches. They make the problem and then give you the solution. So if I go, bam, break your legs and go, you need my crutches. You need me. You don't need me. You just need me not to break your leg.
The population is kind of stupid. It's sad, but true.
But why are they stupid?
But they don't want to wake up.
They're stupid because if you give someone drugs and processed food and dopamine spikes all day, the prefrontal cortex shuts down and the person is no longer capable of making the correct decisions. They are incapable at that point.
How about the people that choose not to do that? I don't do fast food. I mean, I've been among everybody.
Here's what you don't understand. I've had one of the worst lives of any human you'd ever meet. That's why I'm the luckiest. I was lucky to have a very bad life. If I were to spend 2-3 hours recounting all the bad things in my life, you guys wouldn't be able to look at me anymore. You guys would get so uncomfortable, you'd walk out here, you'd be like, this is too heavy, I can't hear this, right? But yet I'm always joking around and clowning. Now, we're in hour 1 million of a seminar where I've been screaming, so I probably look a little tired and angsty. But, you see me in general life, I'm always happy. Why is that? Because I've gone through bad stuff. You don't understand that. You're like, no, but I went through all this bad stuff, and then I woke up a bit. No, you woke up a bit because you were lucky. You hit a, what do addicts need to stop?
Rock bottom.
So you were able to hit a rock bottom point. But the truth is, for the areas that you're not fully developed, you probably didn't hit rock bottom. So I'm not unlucky that bad things happen. I'm lucky that bad things happen. That doesn't mean I'm going to try to make bad things happen. That'll happen on its own. So don't worry. But you see the point. So what happens is there's a cycle that exists, and what you have is the chance with tools like modern day social media, we can begin to change the culture. Okay? We can begin to change the culture because conversations like this were not happening when you just had NBC, CBS, Fox, ABC. We can begin to change the culture. But let me say a few things about that. First of all, when you're in an environment that has, it doesn't have to be me, but this kind of thinking, if that becomes a conditioning, it will stick. I can take a seminar room so high up spiritually. This is a more gritty speech, but you guys know I do many types of speech. Right? I do, like, how funny was the first 2 hours of the seminar, for example? Okay, improvised comedy, right? You know, then we did a speech about religion and spirituality. Then we did stuff about social dynamics. Now I'm doing stuff about social conditioning, right? So we got my little different ways that I like to talk and so on and so forth, right? But I'm able to do a certain kind of speech where the room is so woken up, they're just buzzing and crying, they're so awake. Well, that was me saying, I will take proactive exertion and get people in the room to wake up. One fucking person, if they get access to dictate the vibe, can raise the vibe for everybody. That's what you guys don't understand. One person can do it. One person can be a leader. You ever see that video that I put out this week? It was I reposted a video this week where it shows that guy dancing in Dolores Park, right? And he's dancing, and no one wants to dance with him. But then the first follower comes and dances with him. Then a couple more come. Then a couple more come. Then the whole park swarm starts dancing, right? So that one kooky, crazy leader that says, fuck y'all, to all the bullshit and starts to raise people up, you have that degree of proactive control. See, when I saw that my kids are fucked, I didn't, as a good father, I didn't say, oh, I guess my kids are fucked. I said, then I have to go out and do it. You understand? That's called being a dad. That's called being proactive. I know that my kids are potentially, not for sure by the way, but potentially in a fucked up situation. So I don't want them, like if you have a little crib, you don't want a bunch of bugs and shit in the crib, right? I don't want my kids growing up in a fucked up environment. So I say, well then what am I gonna do? Obviously I have to do something, okay? So when you guys see fucked up shit happening, don't let them demoralize you to think that you don't have power or control. It's your fucking country. Look, I'm Canadian, okay? Sometimes you need a Canadian to tell you how to be an American. Look, my prime minister is the son of Fidel Castro. That's true. Fidel Castro fucked Justin Trudeau's mom, impregnated her because they're swingers, and literally, my fucking prime minister is the son of fucking Fidel Castro. And my Uncle Ramsey was the biographer of his dad. Wow. Ramsey Cook was one of the biographers of Pierre Trudeau, our previously most famous prime minister. Because he was an academic, like me. I'm just the remix, okay? I'm like the remix of Uncle Ramsey, okay? I'm Ramsey with swagger and a big middle finger. So the thing is, I've got to watch as I was proud. I am a proud Canadian, and I'm like, my fucking country voted in Castro's kid. You think I'm making this up? Pull out your fucking phone right now. Who here is unaware that Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's kid? Who here doesn't know about that? Pull your phone out right now. Look up, tell me if it's a rumor. Look up Justin Trudeau, Fidel Castro on Google Images. Then look up Pierre Trudeau, his supposed dad.
I just want to say, fellow Canadian here, thank you.
How do you feel that Fidel Castro's kid runs your fucking country, and literally people came to Ottawa to protest his bullshit, and then he shut down their fucking banks, okay? Do you see it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, look, I was joking about the Fidel Castro thing, okay? That was a joke. I just want to clarify that. I'm just kidding. Because when you look at the pictures, clearly it's Pierre's kid, right? When you look at the pictures, it's clearly Pierre's kid, not Fidel's kid, right?
Sarcastic joke. Is this guy being sarcastic?
I'm kidding. It was a joke. That's parody. I'm just kidding. That was, to be very clear, that was comedy. The speech is part comedy. It was satire, okay? Canada's not run by Fidel Castro's kid.
It is.
A high school drama teacher. Okay? These guys are just plucked up and put in place. You understand? No, I'm just kidding. They're voted in like in a normal way. Just kidding. The satire, okay? He's by far the best that Canada had to offer. Okay? He was by far the most luminary man that Canada had to offer. So what I'm saying is, I'm watching my country get taken over by Castro's kid. Just kidding. So But you guys are partway there, right? You're partway there, but you're not all the way there, okay? So what's gonna happen is the world's gonna go in one of two ways. Either A, the world's gonna go where everyone's just asleep and just whacked out and it's gonna look like the movie WALL-E. You ever seen WALL-E? Like these old fat guys in a wheelchair like looking at a screen? Okay, it's gonna turn that. And then, but the thing is, it's not, WALL-E would be a good outcome. Look, in reality, once AI kicks in, they're not gonna need just a bunch of fat guys in a wheelchair, okay? They're not gonna need, there's not gonna be a need for these people. They're gonna be gone. So what I'm telling you is, you yourself have more at stake than you realize. Your awakening is far more important than you realize, okay? Look, I'll be dead someday. These videos will be floating around, and when shit gets a little real, they're gonna start looking back at this stuff, okay? And it's not just gonna be me, it's gonna be other people that are gonna be looking back on too. I'm making videos that are about 15 years ahead of their time currently, okay? The stuff I'm making now, we don't need. You don't really need to wake up right now. I mean, you know, for your income and your happiness and stuff, but not for like a dramatic social issue. In 15 years, you watch. You've already been locked down. You've already been put on house arrest. You've already had forced medical procedures, right? What's the trajectory of this, right? Where's this going? So, are you gonna be the asleep fucking cattle, or are you gonna wake the fuck up? But is it even that hard to wake up? It's not even that hard. That's what's so stupid. All this fucking chaos. And all you'd have to do is just move your perception by about a degree. If you just change where you're sourcing your energy from, you wouldn't have all this bullshit. Okay? You wouldn't have all this bullshit. So, you're being baby stepped to hell. So, you know, when I see guys going, oh, you know, I drive Uber, man, you know, that kind of stuff, I look at you, bro, and I'm like, fuck you, bro. Because you gotta understand, like, I see a guy who's, for example, you know, who I know is so oppressed he'll never get out of it. That guy, I'll be like, hey, good to meet you, bro. Can I buy you some weed? You know? I'm not gonna give him weed, but I'll give him a tip and he'll probably buy weed, right? But a guy like you, that's not you. It's not. That's a fucking game that you're playing with yourself. So, on a certain level, the way that you have to begin to dig your way out of the pit, you remember Batman, the movie where he's stuck in a pit, he's got to crawl out? That's the pit that you have to crawl out of. But what does that mean? The tools are there, guys. Meditation. In my view, Christianity. Hustling, having a vision, getting into nature, eating better foods, getting a mastermind group, communicating with other like-minded people, getting mentors, reading the right books, watching the right videos, always in a state of action. It's actually more fun. Do you want to be living how you're living now forever? No. It's way more fun to do it this way. But what will happen is you're in an environment right now where this is what's like normalized, because I'm setting the frame. At some point, what's going to happen, though, is I'm not going to be here forcing this frame on you. And then you're going to go, that guy was crazy. I don't know. You know, you're going to do that, right? So what you guys should be doing is you should be befriending everybody here. Start to become more of a tactician. Okay, here's kind of how it works, okay? You want to be always kind of getting back consciousness. Will this food give me a bit more consciousness? Will this thing I'm watching get me a bit more conscious? Will this meditation habit get me a bit more conscious? Will me being in nature get me a bit more consciousness? Will me doing social skills training where I have to be present and get in momentum and have fun give me a bit more consciousness? Will me joking around more get me a bit more consciousness and reclaim it? Will me going to a comedy show, which raises your vibe, get you a bit more consciousness? And you start reclaiming it so that you're grounded in the present moment. From that grounding and access to an independent, transcendent state, then you're no longer a slave. Then you have access to your will and can exert your will and be proactive rather than constantly counterpunching and just coping. Okay, so the essence is from cope to thriving. When I broke my leg, I was in coping. As soon as I broke my leg, I said, okay, I'm in a cope. I'm in severe pain. I can't move and I can't get out of bed for 2 months. I knew I'm in a cope. But the millisecond that I knew that I could get back to doing things, I started doing parties in the wheelchair, going out to nightclubs in the wheelchair, doing seminars in the wheelchair. To get on a flight in a wheelchair, they do the weirdest stuff. They like strap you up like you're Hannibal Lecter in the movie Hannibal. They put you on this like weird thing, like this little thin wheelchair thing. They put you in the chair. I can't even walk. I'm not allowed pressure on the leg. I sit in the thing in pain. I got out of the seminar. I start running seminars. Why? Because I could feel myself defeated. I felt like how a lot of people look. I felt defeated. I felt like, man, if this leg thing would just go away and I could walk again, I don't care about all my dreams. I don't care about all this shit. I just want to be able to walk. That's how a lot of you guys feel. If I could just have like 10 grand a month, I would just be happy. I would give up. You should have some scrappiness. You should be scrappy. Fight, fight, fight. Scrappy. Do you understand? Yes. That's the American spirit. Fight, fight, fight. Scrappiness. For an adult male, should mean minimal fear of death. That doesn't mean that if someone tortures you to death, you don't scream and cry. That can happen. You're human. But you should get past your fear of death. You should also be doing things that constantly challenges you. Of course I've brought my kids to hike Kalalau Trail. Of course I've brought my kids out to Eagle Creek. Of course I've gone overnight hiking with my kids in Navajo Nation, the middle of the desert, while there's coyotes and fucking rattlesnakes everywhere. Of course I've done that. I can't allow my kids to grow up as cowards. I tell my kids, you're going to go to heaven. Don't worry about your body. Just don't be a coward. From a young age, what I say to my children, being a coward is a fate worse than death. Okay? Being lazy is a fate worse than death because you're basically like a fucking stormtrooper. You don't even have access to your own will. You're already dead. You're already dead. You're already an emptied out husk. There's nothing even there. If all that you're doing, if you're just an automaton that reacts to things, tries to pleasure yourself, you eat cows, right? What is the justification? You eat a duck or a cow or a chicken or fish. What's the justification? Well, it's an animal. It's an animalistic consciousness. It's an animal, right? So I can eat it. I can put it in a barn and eat it. But if you share the characteristics of an animal, what do people that are above that think of you? They view you as fucking cockroaches that infested the fucking pantry. Okay? So realize that. And realize that just about everything in the system is designed to whack you out. Look. Here is my reality, okay? I'm in nature a lot. And I'm up in the mountains, streams, ocean, rainforest. That's where I live. I don't live here. I don't care about this, okay? So I'm out there, okay? So I'll be driving around, and maybe I'll be up in Seattle. I'll give this example, right? When I drive back to LA from Seattle, I'm in a little ant colony called Seattle. Nice place. Then I drive up into Olympic National Park. I drive up by Hurricane Ridge, Solduke Falls, Rialto Beach, Hoh Rainforest. Yes, Hohs now have their own rainforest. It's true. It's true. Great place. You know, I drive down into Astoria, Cannon Beach, Newport, Lincoln, down into Bandon Beach, Florence, Oregon, Redwood Forest, Mendocino, and then eventually you get down to this other shithole called San Francisco, okay? And it's like, oh, there's some other little whacked out, insane ant colony here. Then I pass through that and I go down to Monterey, which is quite nice, and then I go through Big Sur, down the highway through Big Sur. If you ever drive it, just make sure that the road hasn't collapsed. It collapses a lot. Yeah, so you got to check if it's collapsed. Trust me on this. It might save you time. Yeah, it's collapsed right now, but it'll be back soon. Okay, so you drive through Big Sur and you're out there, you're so fucking present. You're like, I will get so present out there that I will start taking phone videos of myself talking on the phone to remind myself of how I felt when I'm back in LA. Okay, I'm like, I gotta remind myself. And you're just buzzing. It's like waves of happiness just going through you. You want to build things, you want to be creative, you have ideas, you have genius, you have insight, you have purpose. Then you get back in like the fucking EMF, pollution, noisy, chaotic ego structure, and you get back to real life, right? You get back in here. The problem a lot of you guys have is you never left. You guys never left. So you're just in this shit. But the hilarious part is, the longer that you're in this shit, the more you're broke. It doesn't even work. Because you're so whacked out that you just smoke drugs, eat processed foods, look at dumb shit, and you're never able to think clearly. Ironically, if you took a month off, you'd probably make more money. But you don't think to do that. And you can see if someone is coping or thriving when you ask basic questions. Hey guys, you're sitting here in New York. Name all the best nature shit around New York. You never went. What is around New York? Okay? There's so much great stuff around here. Any of you guys, do yourself a favor. On fucking Monday, just take a drive up the coast for a couple hours. Go visit Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket. Go visit those beautiful mansions in Newport, Mansion Row. Go drive up into Maine. If there's one place I love to go to, it's Kennebunkport, where the Bushes vacation. It's just so peaceful. Real peace. Go to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Go into the White Mountains. Go up into Acadia. Spend a week in Acadia. Go with somebody, share on a fucking Airbnb, and then get a canoe, and then just go out on the lake. Go hike up the Beehive Trail in Maine. Live your fucking life. You should know, if you're an adult man or woman, you should know where that stuff is. You should go. You guys live in New York. Have you guys ever been to, say, Ayers Ancient Baths? Who's here's ever been to Ayers Ancient Baths? That's crazy. You guys have like the coolest bathhouse in the whole country. It's so beautiful. You should take a girl there. Not a girl as a date on the front end, but a girl you want to reward. A girl you've already slept with, okay? Or dating. Like real, though. Like real, not like as a bribe, okay? But as a reward for good behavior. Bring her to Ayers Ancient Baths. You want to blow a girl's mind? Bring her to Ayers Ancient Baths. Why don't you know where Ayers Ancient Baths is? Okay? I'll tell you why. Because all that would be the upper levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. All of that would be the upper layers of thriving. I'm not saying that you're unhappy because you never went to Ayers Ancient Baths. I'm saying you never went to Ayers Ancient Baths because you're unhappy. If you were happy, you'd work, you'd have bandwidth, you'd be a strategist, you'd be aware, then you'd have a bunch of extra time. You go, what do I do with it? Guess I'll go to Ayers Ancient Baths. Okay? Ayers, A-I-R-E, Ancient Baths, okay? Go, just spend the $150 and go by yourself or something, okay? And just see it. But better yet, drive up the coast. People that have never gone anywhere, it's a sign that they're in coping. They're just trying to get by day to day. Oh, just gotta get by, just gotta get by. Okay, you wanna think of it like this, okay? You're sawing down a tree, and you're able to saw down a tree at a pace of about 1 tree a day. If you could just get 2 days off, then you could go sharpen the saw and chop down 10 trees. With those 10 trees that you chop down, you could buy a machine and chop down 1,000 trees. I don't ever recommend chopping down a tree, by the way, but it's a metaphor. But if you're so broke and so barely able to tread water, you never get the time to sharpen the saw. That's like a lot of you guys probably love to do some of my deeper level trainings. And you're like, man, I'd love to do that. It would help me. But can't do it because I can't even get off a day. Right? Ironically, if you took the training, you would get to sharpen the saw. You could take down the 2 trees, but you can't even do that. So for any of you, if you were in this room and you want to do a higher level training with me and you couldn't, don't cry about it, but feel the burn of it. Like, let it make you mad. I do that all the time. If I miss an opportunity, I let it make me mad. Let the missed opportunity piss you off. Go, damn, if I could have worked with Owen for a couple of days, could have changed my life. He was right here and I couldn't even fucking do it. Damn, the next time I get an opportunity like that, not just with me, but any opportunity, I'm gonna seize it. I'm gonna capture the value. Man, he was right here. So that is sharpening the saw. Your life shouldn't be spent going, oh, I feel horrible, smoke the weed, like that, okay? It should be you sharpening the saw, building out systems. And the systems shouldn't be you just making money for the sake of making money. The systems should be you making money so that you can do beautiful things for your family. So that you can go to a giant fucking free tour to help people, or so that you can go take your children to beautiful places, that you can educate yourself, so you can actually live in alignment to God and actually see God's creation. And you can also be a creator. You can create at your highest level. You're born in the image of God. You're born to be a creator. But how many in this room truly feel that you're creating at your potential? And every single year that goes by that you're not creating at your potential is another year of waste. So it's fine to be stuck like that for a period of time if it makes you appreciate more what you will eventually build. But you should not be stuck there forever. Okay? So the trajectory I'm trying to show you is you go from being in coping, hating your life, and trying to medicate how much you hate your life, drugs, alcohol, processed foods, distraction, trying to run from your pain, medicate your pain, stuff your pain, hide from your pain, and basically viewing fun as either being on autopilot, being bitched around and told what to do, being told externally by other people who you are rather than knowing who you are, getting little dopamine spikes, and just having this pain boiling inside you, misery. Flush that shit out like cockroaches, like a disease. Cleanse yourself. I would suggest look to God. Say, I'm weak. I can't do this without you. I need help. Go to God. Pray. Help me. I hate this. Please help me. Help me. I'm begging. I will do good things. I will add value. Please. Let that come within you. Get back your focus. Get centered. Get clear on what you want to do. Become a strategist. Become someone who will participate in the awakening of human consciousness. Not somebody who is complicit by your adherence to the current system, who is basically feeding it by default. You know how you have cancel culture that talks about, oh, well, you know, you like agree, like you liked a tweet of some bad guy? Oh, you liked a tweet of some bad guy. What's worse, you like to tweet of some bad guy? Or you were a battery for an entire satanic, sick system and didn't speak up? So you got to make a decision yourself that you'll say no. Repeat this after me. Say no. Say no. Say no. Say no. 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 Okay, this shit being put in front of your face, just say no to it. Okay? Choose God, choose life, choose expansion, choose the elevation of human consciousness, and play a role in the Human Awakening Project that is coming, by the way. And you want to know why? And it's going to succeed. And you want to know why? Because we don't have a choice. That's why. Because we don't have a choice. It's getting to the point where we don't have a choice. So this is happening with or without you. Okay? So it's coming. So let me level with you, okay? If you want to know how shit works, don't get all your information from the mainstream, which is always a little bit behind the curve. Go into little pockets of things that are evolving and get ahead of the curve. This is happening. People are going to wake up because we don't have a choice anymore. We don't have a choice. So it's just going to happen because it has to happen, okay? So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. We're many, many hours into our event together now. My voice is pretty blasted out. This is me giving like my last jerk here, you know, right? I busted 4 nuts. I'm like, let's get out the last. This is me like, eh. You know, sometimes people see these speeches, right? And they're like, why is he like, look, you know, tired and a bit angry, you know? They don't understand. It's like the middle of the fucking night on like days in this fucking thing. I'm like, come on, right? So I'm just unloading the clip, okay? This is me like, I'm like, right? And I'm just like, tick, 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 okay? I've unloaded the clip, okay? I have unloaded the fucking clip. So that is what I have for you today. I will go to bed tonight and reload the clip. Okay? And we're coming back in tomorrow like this, okay? You guys have fun? Yeah! Thank you very much. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. You're gonna fucking do it, baby. You're gonna fucking do it. You understand?